We'd like to thank you for joining us this week as we're putting some miles on the 2015 Volvo S60 T5 Drive-E, the mid-size luxury sedan from Volvo. Up front on our S60, we're going to see we've got a little bit broader grille opening, and then we're going to mix that in with the adaptive headlights and fog lights and the daytime LED running lights, and we're going to see that it gives the vehicle a little bit more substantive look on the road, a little bit broader appeal to it. We've also got several sensors up front for the adaptive cruise as well as the collision warning systems. Going under the hood of our 2015 Volvo S60, we're going to see that we've got a couple of different engine options that are available, including a diesel. Now, our model happens to be equipped with a 2.0 liter turbocharged direct injected engine that's going to produce 240 horsepower, and it's going to be backed by the 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, this engine does use the start-stop technology, which is going to contribute to the fuel economy. Now, this thing is rated for 25 in the city, 37 out on the highway, and 29 overall combined. Now, for our use, we got 36 out on the highway several times, never quite got to the 37, and our overall average was 28.5 according to the onboard computer. Along with the headlights flowing back into the body lines, we're going to see that we've got some power side mirrors here that automatically fold down when the car is put into park. We've got the color match trim on the door handles and a little bit of bling around the windows. Now, we happen to also be rolling on the 17-inch wheels, but there are options to go all the way up to 19s if that's what you're interested in. So we're going around the interior of our 2015 Volvo S60, and we're going to find a lot of nice features here with some soft touch material and a two-tone color scheme. Got some design here on the door latch, and down here we've got a nice large pull, some chrome trim, and one interesting thing we've got here is the side view mirror adjustments. The way it's raised up here, it's very easy. Once you recognize it, you can just about slide your hand over here without even looking to adjust the right or left side view mirrors. Nice arrangement and very easy to do. So coming on down, we're going to see that we've got some additional controls here for our driver, our headlights, our trunk, and our parking release, our fuel filler cap. Then we're going to come up here to the gauge package. Now, this is an interesting arrangement with a large speedometer right in the middle, and we've got our support gauges right on the right or the left. And it's pretty much electronic, and we've got a couple of different ways that we can set this and adjust it. Much of it's done from the turn signal lever right over here on the side, and that adjusts quite a few of the settings for our fuel economy, how many miles we've got left, kilometers versus miles, etc. So it's a pretty reasonable or pretty easy to use setup. Our gear shift indicator is right here on the right. And it even has down for our sport mode setting, so that when we kick it into the sport mode, it does make a few changes here on our gauge package so that we can see that and recognize it for our tach. Coming on back and looking at the steering wheel, we've got our thumb controls here for our cruise, as well as the distance on our adaptive cruise control and how close we're going to get to the guy in front of us. And over here we're going to have our audio control, our voice activation system, as well as several other changes in the audio system. Now, coming over to the center stack, we're going to see that we've got a nice large screen here, and it's got several different functions that we can pull up on it. It's all controlled down here, or some of it's controlled from the thumb screen. Some of the settings to where we're actually changing the channels, for instance, on the radio, is all done right here with this little thumb scroll switch here. Now, this is also important for the nav system, because if you want to go in and program something into the nav system, then you're going to actually have to go in and tell it, what do you want? Now, if you're having some trouble communicating with the voice activated system, then you're back to this thumb scroll switch that we can use to pick what we want to choose. Simply pressing down on the switch causes it to activate it, and then we can either put a new address in or use the ones that we've got. Now, coming on down, we're going to see that we've got some nice large knobs here to for our climate control and for our volume on our sound system. And we're going to see this combination of touch points and switches right here in the middle. Now, this is pretty much set up like a phone keypad. We've got our menus that runs around the side of it, so that this is how we can adjust things on the inside of it and our fan controls. But this is what's really neat in this car. This is a very simple, where do you want your air to go? You want it to go up the top, up towards the vents to come out at the top. Then, or you want them down at the feet because you got cold feet. It's very easy to touch and just look over there and do it. You don't have to look for a knob and switch it and all that good stuff. We got a button here that's also a lot of fun. This is the button you push to drop the rear headrest. They kind of set up kind of high for safety measures, but you push that and they automatically fold over. It's great if your kids are cutting up in the back seat, just boom, and you're popping them in the back of the head. We've also got some other controls for our adaptive cruise and our echo mode over here. And this changes some settings on the fans and the air conditioning and the climate control and several other settings to maximize the fuel efficiency. Now again, here's our shifter. We've got a sport setting. We come back and we go to the side. We're into the sport setting mode, and works pretty well. Coming on back, we're going to see that we've got a non-skid surface here that covers up our drink holders. Got a power supply right here, out of the way. Then we come back a little further and we've got a little padded section here on the top of our console where we're going to have our deep storage. Got a USB port in here and some other access that we can use to power a cell phone charger, for example. Looking on around the rest of the interior, we're going to see we've got a nice storage box right here. It's fairly deep, opens up really wide, makes it a lot easier to get into. The seats themselves are leather. A lot of manufacturers have gone to a leather-like material. This is leather, and you're going to find if you've got wood trim in your Volvo that's going to be real wood trim. The seats are heated. Got some really nice deep bolstering here, so it really wraps around whenever you get into the seat. Part of the sport seat package according to our notes. And then coming on back to the back seat, we're going to see we've got a drop down console as well as the same two-tone color trim and color scheme going on. Looking at the rear passenger area of our Volvo T60, we're going to see we've got some soft storage right here behind the front seats. And then coming on across at the back of the front console, it's not real big, but we do have another 12-volt power outlet right here for the rear passengers. Now these seats do carry the same design. They are leather, and they've got the same patterns as found in the front. And there's a center console piece that folds down. Brings down a couple of drink holders, as well as a nice soft arm pad here. Open it up and we've got a little bit of storage. And this also gives access to a pass-through from the trunk area of the Volvo T60. Now this back seat is a 60-40 arrangement and it will fold down, but the releases are in the trunk, which kind of makes sense. If you're in the back and you want to put something long in here, then you're back there and you open the trunk and then you can push it down and push it forward. Looking at the trunk area of our S60, we're going to see we've got several features built in here as well. Now this is where we're going to see that we've got some cargo tie downs, and we've also got this lift up feature, so we can kind of put grocery bags or something else behind this that we don't want flying around, as well as we've got an elastic strap here that we can use to tie a few things down as well. Now down below that is where we're going to find our emergency roadside kit. We don't have a spare tire, but we've got an inflator here that'll get us to where we need to go. We'd like to thank you again for joining us this week as we've been putting some miles on the 2015 Volvo S60. Our S60 comes with a dual exhaust setup. We've got some 17-inch aluminum alloy wheels, and we got a really nice looking four-door sedan here. Now this vehicle does come with a lot of technology that's built into it, either the available or even as standard. And we've got the rear park assist camera. We've got the adaptive cruise control with the brake assisting. We've got collision warning systems that'll help us with pedestrian and cross traffic. We've also got blind spot monitors and lane departure monitors. So if you get a chance to drive one of these nice vehicles, we highly recommend it. We'd like to thank you again for joining us. This is Mike Mars And remember, travel safe.